It's Wednesday the 14th of December and welcome to From the South. Protests erupted in Brazil on Tuesday after the country's Senate approved a 20-year freeze on government spending. The austerity measures will most affect the poor in areas of education, housing and health. The spending legislation was approved despite the fact that nearly 60% of Brazilians oppose it, according to polls, and despite the fact that it was called inappropriate by the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Extreme Poverty and Human Rights. In Colombia, constitutional court judges have approved special fast-track procedures to implement the government's contested peace accord with the FARC rebels. The government says the fast-track reforms are needed to see through the peace deal before a fragile ceasefire collapses. Constitutional Court judges voted 8-1 in favor of the measure. Venezuelan Foreign Minister Delcy Rodriguez was denied entry to the Mercosur Foreign Ministers meeting in Argentina on Wednesday. This is weeks after Venezuela was suspended for allegedly failing to fulfill membership requirements. Rodriguez demanded she be allowed in, saying she currently holds the presidency of the South American trade bloc. Venezuela believes it's being targeted for its political ideologies. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte said on Monday he had cruised the streets of Davao City on a motorcycle looking to kill criminals when he was its mayor. Duterte made the comment at a meeting with business leaders at the Malacanang Palace, where he spoke about the government's crackdown on illegal drugs. The French lower house of parliament has voted early to extend the country's state of emergency until July 15, 2017. France remains on high alert against the threat of terror attacks. The measure received 288 votes for and 32 against. Greek public hospital workers walked off their jobs on Wednesday and staged a rally to protest over austerity reforms. The workers built a wall at the entrance of the health ministry in central Athens. Later in the day, Eurozone lenders suspended their recently agreed short-term debt relief plan over the Prime Minister's plans to give poor Greek pensioners a pre-Christmas bonus. No deal has yet been reached by a heavyweight delegation for outgoing President Yahya Jammeh to transition power to opposition leader Adama Barrow. Jammeh has demanded a rerun of the entire election. A delegation including 4 African leaders was unable to convince Jammeh to step down.
The Syrian army continues to progress rapidly in the eastern neighborhoods of the city of Aleppo. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the whole city is in government hands. Syrian military sources from the heart of the city confirmed that the Syrian state has secured all areas necessary for citizens to leave the eastern part of the city.
We made significant progress on various fronts in the city of Aleppo in recent days, despite desperate attempts by the terrorists to repel the attack through the shooting of civilians and hitting the attacking force. But that did not affect the infantry units and our military operations that have quickly made significant progress on all fronts in Aleppo and its countryside.
Information confirms that approximately 100,000 civilians, including a large number of children and women, have fled the area under the control of the militant during the last 3 days. The Syrian government says they are in temporary residence centers pending return to their homes.
The situation was very bad. We tried to get out of the eastern region more than once over the past 5 months, but the militant fighters wouldn't let us. But thank God we are finally here. The militants wanted to divide the city into east and west, but I want everyone to know that this is Aleppo city. All Aleppo together today, not west or east.
All security services, the police, the army, and the government of the Syrian government institutions have mobilized to meet the needs of the residents of Aleppo, and we are trying to secure all the needs of the citizens in all areas. This is our duty toward all the sons of Syria, and we all live under the roof of the homeland.
Despite the rise in limited of clashes on several fronts in Syria, Aleppo was the most permanent even on the international level, especially in light of the fact that whoever controls Aleppo will be a major force in the next negotiations because of the importance of this city as the economic capital of the country. HAZEM ABDULLAH, teleSUR's, Syria.
2 more Brazilian survivors of the Colombian plane crash that killed 71 people on November 28 returned home to Brazil on Wednesday. The crash in Medellin wiped out most of Brazil's Chapecoense team heading to Colombia to play in the finals of the Copa Sudamericana. There were only 6 survivors. More on these and other stories on our website telesurtv.net/English.